On Sunday, do you think Zeke is going to punish us just like J.K. Dobbins in comparison to what Chubb is going to offer? And who would you want to have here in the future? Do you think we love what Chubb has done and we're sticking with him for the future?
Well, if you look at the tail of the tape of the two backs are eerily similar, almost identical stats. Zeke has a 307 yards total, 4 touchdowns. Chubb has 309 yards total, 4 touchdowns. So they're two somewhat similar backs, but Zeke is a lot thicker and is perceived as the better receiver of the two. I expect both to have solid performances. I think it's really going to matter or come down to who leads and who falls behind and how much their team is going to be focusing on the passing attack as opposed to the running attack. More likely, Zeke would be featured in their passing attack, and I could see Kareem Hunt being more featured in our passing attack. I guess if I had to pick between the two, I think Zeke's going to have better stats given what I think is going to happen with the game. I think the Cowboys are going to lead early and they're going to hinge on him. And I think the Browns are going to be forced to pass a little and they might not rely on Chubb as I would expect. But as far as your question is concerned going forward, I think I would like Nick Chubb for a couple of reasons. I love his attitude. I love his demeanor. I love his work ethic. I love how he keeps his nose clean and you don't have to worry about him getting the phone call at whatever o'clock in the morning that he did something stupid. So he focuses on his work, and he's a great complementary piece to Kareem Hunt, who's already been locked up for 2 years. I hope they can get a reasonable contract with Chubb for 3 or 4 more years, so we can at least have a pretty solid backfield for a couple years to come.
Yeah, they had a great showing against the Redskins. It seems like we relied on the run a little bit more, spread the ball out, and Chubb was really focused on, and Kareem Hunt. They both had the ball. It seemed like more with the Redskins. Drew, do you think that's part of the formula for getting a win against the Cowboys? Hand the ball off to Chubb?
That's certainly part of it. Sure, Nick Chubb's the best running back in the NFL. I don't think there's no bones. I would take him over every single running back right now. I saw a stat the other day that he is one of 5 running backs in the history of the league to average over 5 yards per carry through his first 3 years. That's a minimum of something like 500 attempts. He averages 5.1 yards per carry. He's up there with the likes of Adrian Peterson and Barry Sanders. The first part of CJ2K's career, when he was the best running back in the league for, his flame sort of burned bright and then burned out, right? But there are, Bo Jackson is the other one, right? Like there are some people in this club that Nick Chubb is a part of, and that's about it, right? So what he has shown is he is the best running back in the NFL. He has the second most broken tackles in the league. He leads the league in yards or in rushes of 10 plus yards. He leads the league in yards after contact. He is a truly elite, incredible type talent, right? You think about this on an offense that features number 1 overall pick Baker Mayfield, league star Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, new tight end Austin Hooper. Nick Chubb is by far the best player on the offense, and it's because Nick Chubb is the best running back in the NFL today. So, to get back to the original question that Ryan asked, what's the sort of recipe? And I'm very encouraged by the fact that I think the Browns finally, honestly, for the first time that I can ever remember, they have an actual identity. Right, that identity is to throw the ball early to get the lead, and then to lean on the running game to win the game. Right, you've seen it the last 2 weeks against Washington. The Browns had a total of like 67 yards rushing through 3 quarters, and they ended with 160 yards rushing. Against the Bengals, they were a little more balanced early, but they also ran the ball late to win the game, right? And with this dynamic sort of rushing attack that they have, I really think that's a formula for success, right? So, Now, this is an offense that's going to be predicated around not getting blown out. You've seen it can get ugly when that's your identity and you're down big early, right? We saw that against the Ravens. So that's going to be very important. Just some stats here that I'm encouraged by. The Browns have 2 of the top 5 guards in the NFL. Wyatt Teller, number 3, his rating is 87.5. Joel Bitonio, number 5, his rating is 84.5. These are the 2 starters. They're the top 5. This is in the league, right? So this scheme is perfect for these 2. Bill Callahan's done an incredible job. I can't praise him enough for his work in the running game and the coordination of that running game. So I'm very encouraged by it, and I'm happy to see that the Browns finally have an identity. And I think you can take that and replicate that, right? A running game travels, an identity travels. And I'm looking forward to see what they do against the Dallas team that on defense is fairly weak.